Hey guys, it's B. Wiley. Happy Saturday. This is Self Care Saturday. So, if you're following me on my Instagram page, I did a poll the other day that asked about, and this was after I posted my most recent video about single mothers. And so, I'm a single mother. So, that's why I made that post. And I asked who would like to know how I became a single parent when I didn't even want kids to begin with. So, thanks for tuning in, number one. And number two, if you know me, B. Wiley, Brooke, in real life, I am super reserved. I am quiet. I don't just go up walking up to people. Hey, how are you doing? Absolutely not. I am in my own little world, in my own little shell, and I've always been like that for the 39 years of my life. However, when it comes to my purpose, I am probably a lot outgoing. I'm direct, I'm to the point, I'm very chatty. So just understand that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because typically I don't share what goes on in my private life because it's my private life. So if it's not like something that someone else can benefit from, I tend to not share it, especially on social media. But I know because I have a lot of women who follow me who can relate to this situation. So this is how I became a single mother. And by single mother, I mean, that just means I'm unmarried. I haven't been married just yet. So, how it happened. So, I was talking to this guy. I had met this guy years and years ago. My son will be 15 this year. I had met him years ago. I would always see him around. And at the time, my mindset was so dumb. It was just like, and I can call myself dumb. I have that right. I know who I used to be. So, I hope that doesn't trigger anyone. But you just got to be open and honest with who you are at what time and when and just handle it. So, anyway. So I was this guy that I was super attracted to, and he was like this dope boy. And what I mean by that, he had the nice clothes, the nice shoes, he always had money, and he probably, I'm sure he did illegal activity. Yes, he did have a full-time job, a regular job. However, he did things on the side. And for some reason, the money was calling my name. So me and him got really cool. And I remember the night that we met at this club, and I was just in awe of him. I had the hearts in my eyes for this guy for reasons that didn't make sense, reasons that had nothing to do with emotional connection, spiritual connection. It was totally lust, and he had money. So, he was good to look at. Like, let me be clear on that. He was he is still a good looking guy. So anyway, I mean, I haven't seen him in years. So last time I saw him, he was an attractive guy. And so anyway, so that night after the club, we would take these pictures, these hood pictures in the club, and then and then that night, he tried to sleep with me. And I was like, no, sir, because number one, we were at someone's house. He said it was his house, but there was women's clothing all in the closet, shoes everywhere. And I'm like, dude, do you got a girlfriend? Like, and if you do, where's she at? And so I spent the night at his house that night. Nothing happened. And then fast forward over a year, we were literally friends. Like anything that I needed, he would come to my rescue, anything. We would talk all the time. He'd come to my house and visit. I'd see his other kids because he had like 3 other kids at the time. I would see his kids. He was a good father. He was working. I had been to his job to check up on him. We were literally friends. However, it got a little bit more friendlier after like a year. And the first time I got, mwah. And number one, let me take this rubber band out. Number one, I did not have any intention to get pregnant. And that's why we use things that can prevent pregnancy. However, something broke, and then I was not on birth control. So I ended up getting pregnant. And while I was going through that pregnancy, it was a really, really good pregnancy. He was there throughout the pregnancy until he wasn't, when he got locked up. And I worked, I did my thing. I was staying in a place in Arkansas that was based on your income. And then I was working at this place called Barbara Graves, where where I got certified to be a bra fitter, and I was working there, and I was just doing my thing. And then after I had my son, he had came up, like, mind you, he was there throughout the pregnancy until he wasn't when he got locked up. So I ended up having my son 10 days earlier. And in between time, we kept in contact. There was no beef, no nothing. He worked. Everything was all good. So then after I had my son, I could not contact him. I couldn't reach him. I couldn't find him. Like, where is this guy? Where is Waldo? So we were out again. It was the first time I was able to get out. It was like 2 to 3 weeks. No, it wasn't 2 to 3 weeks. I did go out after 2 weeks of having my son, but I ended up going out again months later. And I told my closest friends at the time, if you see, I won't say his name, if you see him, stop him, stalk his life. Let him know I am looking for him. And one of my closest friends, we're still friends to this day, she saw him, she held on to him, and she was like, Brooke. She yelled at me from across the same club that we met at, and she grabbed him, and then he came back, and then we went to my mother's house where my son was, and then I had an agreement with him. I said, hey, you know what? This is what we're going to do. If you can just pay for diapers and wipes every week, I won't put you on child support. I was baby mama number 4, guys. Baby mama number 4. He had 3 other kids by 3 other different women. So I'm number 4. And I didn't want him. He didn't want me. We just were going to co-parent. However, he couldn't seem to get it together, keep it together, do anything. So I promptly put him on child support. I applied for WIC. I applied for food stamps. I applied for cash assistance. Anything that I could get to make sure my child was fed. There was no shame in my game. And I want to tell you, single mothers, have no shame in your game. If the dude is not helping you, you deserve the right to be financially supported. I cannot stand when a woman says, well, I don't need his help. Well, why not? He helped you make the baby. So why would you not go to the system to put his butt in the system to help you? You should not be out here struggling, breaking your back just to raise a child that you also had help making. So I put him on child support, and long story short, over the last 14 years, he has been on and off. For the most part, he has been off. He is over $12,000 in arrears as of now. And you know what? It's all good. And when I get the child support, it comes in like $30 increments every week. And when I don't, I don't. So what I had to learn as a single mother, as I made a decision, I had to own the fact that I chose to sleep with this guy, and I chose to have a child with this guy. So because I made the decision, I have to reap the benefits of that decision. And the benefits are I get a great child who is smart, straight A student. He's a genius. He's kind. He's loving. He's caring. He has so many things that I am not. And because of this child that is in my life, I have upgraded my life. I challenge myself every day. I'm here talking to you right now because I know for sure had I not had him, I wouldn't even be in this mental headspace. I wouldn't have never left Arkansas. I wouldn't just be where I am mentally and especially spiritually and emotionally. So if you're a single mother, I need for you to get it clear in your head. You may struggle. Guys, when I first moved to St. Louis, before I moved to St. Louis, like I mentioned this in a video the other day, I lived with my cousin and his wife in their beautiful house, and I was broke. I was still on cash assistance. I was getting child support. I didn't have a job. I was broke. And my car just broke down as soon as I moved to Illinois. So I got out of that house. I moved to another house where it was cold in the winter because I didn't have heat, and we were upstairs and I couldn't afford an air, what you call the little thing? It's right here. I got one. I have one, and I've kept one. I don't know if you can see it. One of these. I couldn't afford one of these little space heaters, what they're called, because I was so broke. I was bringing home maybe $300 a week, and I didn't have a car, and I had to use public transportation to get around, and I had to feed myself. I moved out of that place. My son, he wasn't in school, so he was back in Arkansas. But when I moved to my first apartment, it was ghetto. It was like the projects. I had sewage issues. It smelled like sewer. It was mold in the kitchen. They were trying to steal my rent money. However, I had my receipts. I was there for years and years, and I was doing these videos. One of my top viewed videos about Are Women Desperate, where I have a purple workout shirt on, is out of that ghetto project apartment. And so I lived there, and then I moved to my last apartment, which was smaller than that one. And then they didn't want me to live there anymore because there was fraud in my bank account. That's a whole nother story. I had some fraud going on in my bank account, so I paid my rent late a few times. And then they were like, well, we don't want you here. You paying your rent late. And I'm just like, I explained to them the situation. They didn't care. That's a whole nother story. But the point is, I ended up getting in this townhouse that's upstairs, downstairs, full completed basement, whole washing, dryer machine, and everything down there. The point of this story is, I'm not here to brag. I'm telling you where I came from, guys. And I'm still going. I'm still going to evolve. This place where I'm at, the car that I have, that isn't the end of the road. I'm just telling you, as long as you have your mind right and you believe in yourself and you want to get out of that struggle and you're sick of the struggle, it's not the man's job to take care of you, and it's not his job it's not on you to get mad at him for what he didn't do or how he left you. Your only job is to put him on child support if he won't openly and freely help you support your child and mind your business. Your job is not to go on social media and bash him, call him out. If you go back on all my videos since 2014, I've never said this man's name. I've never called him out. I've never addressed him at all because I got my peace. And I'm living in my purpose and I'm doing what's necessary. And if you do the work for yourself, you work on yourself, you work on why you made that decision. If you cannot seem to forgive yourself on why you chose that guy or how you were blindsided, because I was blindsided the whole year that I was this dude's friend, like anything that I need mentally, financially, whatever, he was there. And then he blindsided me after I had our son. He went like maybe a few weeks to a month with diapers and Pampers. And what's that, $20 a week? You can't even do that. You're sorry. Just own it. Accept it for what it was. Take care of you and your children. That's all you can do. So the moral of the story is single mothers. I'm a single mother. I get it. Yes, I have had low moments of struggle to where I was just eating ramen noodles and hot dogs 100%. 110%. I get it. I know what it means to be broke. I know what it means to not to be able to afford childcare. I know what it means to still have a balance at childcare offices because you just don't have it. I get it. So what you can do is let that go. Let that man go. No longer let him control you in your mind and make you just lash out and be crazy and then lash out on your kids and not be present with them. Let that man go. He's going to reap what he sowed. Your only job is to go to the office. I will continue to say this. I don't believe and I don't support women who aren't signing up for financial support from the fathers for their children. It just doesn't make sense because when you don't do that, you don't have the right to say you're a single parent and he don't do nothing. Go to the system and they'll make him do something. He done been to jail. My son's father done been to jail and everything and locked up because he refuses to pay child support. And do I care? Absolutely not. It is what it is. Will I take him off of child support? Absolutely not. Never. So when he's 90 years old, he will pay me my money, period, point blank. So it is what it is, ladies. And so that's my story of how I became a single parent, not on birth control, had a little oopsie, and then I got my son. So what is your story on how you became a single parent? And just because you're a single parent don't mean shame on you. It's just an experience. And my experience, thank God for it. I can only thank God for it because I know where I would have been had I not had my son, had this experience not happened to me. So be grateful for those kids. Show up for them and show out and show them what mommy can do without a man who don't want to be in a picture anyway. All right, guys. So if you're here this long, this is the longest video I've ever done on here. Thank you. Go ahead and subscribe. Leave me your comments below and just let me know what other videos you like for me to do because I can be open, I can be honest. I'm gonna give it to you straight because that's really either if I'm doing B. Wiley or just Brooke in my personal life, I'm always a straight shooter. So whatever you want to know, just let me know. I hope my story kind of encouraged you and let you know that you can go from WIC, food stamps, tea, cash assistance to supporting yourself and just leveling up and taking the baby steps. It's all about your baby steps. Remember, 10 years ago, it'll be 10 years in October, I moved from somebody else's house to having my own townhouse. So just think about that. When you're getting down, you don't have to stay there. Level up. Quit depending on that man to support you emotionally. If he don't want you, let him go. If he don't want to be in your kid's life, that's okay. Let him go. And just create space for a new man to come in and help you and be your purpose partner and be your helpmate. All right, guys. I've said enough. So like I said, if you're here, don't forget I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Coach B. Wiley, and I'll talk to you on Tuesday. Bye.